Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel and the stream. So we're going to be doing a breakdown here with Spotlight Will Barton. As you guys know, I am going for that Brandon Ingram, who's one of my personal favorite cards in the game, just in terms of fun and offensive effectiveness. Sold my pink diamond, I've missed him ever since, so I definitely need that. I already have the Siakam, so that means we're also getting that James Harden, so we'll be breaking him down for you guys as well. But on the way, there are a whole bunch of other cards that we want to grab, that we're going to grab, that people might be curious about, because some of these are overlooked. We all know about Cam Reddish and Kevin Porter Jr., a lot of really good cards from the East that everybody has gotten because of the Siakam, but less people are going for Ingram and Harden, so some of the Western Conference cards are a little overlooked, and I've gotten a lot of requests about these cards. So let's see what Will Barton is bringing to the table. So he comes in at 6'6". Now I will say he is of the smaller 6'6" variety. I wouldn't say that he's less than 6'6", but I just did a Tyler Hero. I keep calling him Hero because of the two R's in his name. I just did a Tyler Hero review, and you guys could see the Tyler Hero character model, more similar to Kobe and Ron Harper. Very, very large character model. Will Barton is an average to, I would say average or smaller size character model at 6'6", which is not necessarily a negative, but there's no positives in that category. All right, so we see here. So one way that he separates himself automatically is this 98 driving dunk, which is insane. He also has a 93 three ball and a 94 midi. So very respectable offensively. And you see he has a 93 ball handle. These are with coaching boosts. So I believe I have D'Antoni on right now. Now here we see the first area that he comes in, which is alarming. That interior defense is very, very low. So he is not there if you're trying to defend Jordan or any post. There aren't that many post-up two guards in the game. Where it really bites you is when someone is running a bigger point guard and you have to switch around. Now with Bonga in the game, I don't think that's as much of a factor as it used to be. But if you want to run a Steph Curry or a Derrick Rose or something like that, a Kyrie Irving, and you have this guy at the 2, you might find yourself being a little small in the front court because he is not going to be able to switch off onto a bigger point guard and put up much of a fight. So that's the first real negative about this character. The rebounding stats, not great. The 67 defensive rebound is very solid for a 2 guard. 90 steal, which is fantastic. Nothing with the block. Shot contest is solid. 95 lateral quickness is very good. And 97 speed, which is almost all the way. It's about as good as it gets. 90 speed with ball, not as good as the speed, but still solid. 98 vertical, again, super outstanding. So if this card has pogo stick, that can help him when it comes to defending on the interior, because he can just jump around like a moron. So let's see if he can jump around like a moron. Did I look at the strength rating? And the strength rating is 44. Again, absolutely horrible. This guy needs to get in the gym. He needs to do some push-ups because he is not made to defend on the interior. He is a perimeter-centric 2 guard. Alright, so he has Hall of Fame clamps, which is great. He also has Chase Down Artist, which combines very well with his high speed. And ignore the block rating. All of my experience with this game tells me that if you have chase down, even on bronze, your character is going to get chase down blocks, even if you have 0 block rating. All right, so it doesn't matter. The chase down artist is one of the most OP badges in the game in terms of making up for a lack of rating. So this card being so athletic, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a lot of chase down blocks, even if he's beat off the dribble or helping out. So keep an eye out on that if you play this card. So we got Clamps, Tireless Defender, which is fantastic. Now he does have the pogo stick and the pick dodger, which is great. A lot of people look at pickpocket. I think it's a slightly overrated badge, but he has it on gold for those of you who love that badge. So here we go. Hall of Fame quick first step and gold ankle breaker. Outstanding. He also has gold downhill. Not that he needs it, but that'll help with the speed with the ball, pushing his speed with the ball to an elite level. So once he gets this downhill, he's going to have a 99 speed with the ball. He doesn't need a Hall of Fame. I believe it boosts you almost 30% at Hall of Fame. He doesn't need that because he has a 90 speed with the ball. So even if he only had bronze or silver, he'd be at max speed when he's running with the ball. He also has Space Creator, which is fantastic. No tight handles and no handles for days. So you don't want to over dribble with this guy. He will take a stamina hit. All right, let's take a look at the shooting badges. What's up, Brandon Bowles? I see you, brother. Hall of Fame catch and shoot, which is excellent. He's got corner, dead eye, gold, great. difficult shots, gold, great, green machine, blah blah. Quick draw and range extender, all gold, and tireless and volume shooter, gold as well. So this guy is a very good shooter. He's not of the elite category because he doesn't have the Hall of Fame badges and the 99 rating, but he should still be an outstanding shooter in the grand scheme of things, as long as the shot release is up there. And we're going to get to that soon. And here we go. In addition to being a very, very good shooter, this guy also has Hall of Fame badges everywhere as a slasher. This guy might be dunking on folks. I'm actually definitely going to take some time into him with TTO and see if he does that. If I do that and he performs well, I'll put up a video of that so that you guys can see that, because he looks very promising as a slashing 2-guard. So we see here, so we look at his arm length. His arms are skinny, but they look like they might be long. It's almost like he has the Kevin Durant style body. So yeah, so his wingspan might be helping him out. It's hard for me to tell right here because of the way his arms are bent, but they look like they come down reasonably far to his shorts. And we see here he has a wonderful shot release. Really, really nice release. Right as the ball is going forward, big old giant green window. Let's look at his leaner. And that's really nice. Really nice. He's got the straight up and down leaner, but it's basically when you're moving with this card, you can almost treat him as if he's shooting straight up. Very similar to his main form. All right, so let's get into his full court dribbles. Well, those are his hot zones, which are pretty mediocre to bad. So he has a wonderful behind the back. Right off rip, great behind the back dribble. I'll let you guys see that again. Great behind the back dribble running full court, and that's going to be great for us in half court too. Let's see the between the legs, and he has the elite between the legs, right? So he can do all of that business. I don't like to promote that kind of gameplay because we know that move is kind of broken, but he has it. So his crossover, kind of a big hesitation crossover. Would he make my starting team? Because of the cards that I have, no, because he's not better than Brandon Roy and who's my other 2-guard? RJ Barrett. But if I didn't have those cards, I would definitely play this card. My only concern with him is honestly the interior defense. All right, let's look at the rest of his dribbles. So we saw his between the legs and behind the back, both of them elite. And that's his. In fact, I would say I will play this card first before deciding what to do with him, to be honest with you. So he has a bad crossover. His in and out's okay. He doesn't really have that movement on an in and out that makes it super great. Let's check the Hezi. Okay, Hezi left stick cross. Usually that's a money move for cards. For him, I would say you see the way it kind of stops him and moves him to the side. He doesn't get that big explosion. A lot of characters get a massive horizontal explosion. His is okay. It's fine. It's not bad, but it's definitely not as good as some of the other cards. But I will say his regular same side explosion going to the same hand is very good. He's very agile out of that. All right, so full court, he's looking very good overall. So let's look at these half court dribbles. So first thing we're going to check is the Hezi. And he has the Pro 3/Pro 1 Hezi. It's funny, Carson Cruz just made a video saying somebody on the website said that it's not just Pro 3. I've been saying it's Pro 1 and Pro 3 for the longest time. If not for the longest time, I think it's been about 3 weeks. I discovered that a while ago when looking at somebody's animations. Maybe it was Brandon Roy, I don't know. And I saw that they had a Pro 1. I was like, oh, okay, the Pro 1 you can cancel as well. Because in the park, everybody uses Pro 3. So, for the most part. How far am I on Harden Project Elevate? This is how far I am. I just only did one Western Conference team. I'm really busy with work, so I won't be getting Harden most likely until the weekend. But if I don't have him by the weekend, I will definitely grind him out to try and finish him off this weekend. All right, so he has the Pro 3 Hezi, which is great. So he can switch sides at will. Now he doesn't have the, well, there we go. He also has the between the leg side switch. And so here's, you can maybe see it on screen. Will Barton is he has a very fast size up. Like his size up dribbles are just very explosive. So I did the Tyler Herro review and I talked about how he didn't really love to move out of his dribbles. Will Barton is the opposite. He loves to move out of his dribbles. So I'm just doing a simple behind the back and launching out of it, and he wants to go really badly. And what that does is that gives him a really nasty misdirection. So here's kind of the breaking news of this card review, right? So he's got a lot of good animations. But the thing about it is, out of his size up, I gotta look look at what size up this is because I don't know what this is. It's got that weird funky crouch to it. You guys can see here. And it's funny because his spam dribbles aren't that fast, but his simple 1-2 dribbles are outstanding, and it gives him a really insane misdirection. And knowing that he has basically 99s and Hall of Fames in all slashing categories, and he's a top speed guy, you might find yourself really liking this card over other cards. I said the same thing about Kevin Porter, and that has proven to be true. Like on paper, Cam Reddish, he's 6'8", he's a better defender. Of course you want to get Cam Reddish. But what I said in my Kevin Porter review, and the Cam Reddish review actually, was even though Cam Reddish is supposed to be better, some people might play with Kevin Porter and like him more. And I feel the same way with Will Barton. If you're doing spotlights, it's only 5 games. I would definitely say knock out those 5 games and check out this card if you're looking for a 2-guard, or if you're not happy with your 2-guard. His jumper's really good, man. If you're not happy with your 2 guards, because if you're more of a slashing type player, you might be really thrilled with how Will Barton just is so explosive off the dribble. Literally, if you're behind the screen, just a simple behind the back dribble, and this guy is like running out of that animation. Just really running out of it. And because he runs out of that animation so quickly, it gives him a misdirection at a higher level than most characters get. So, you know, so that's very strong in his favor. All right, we're going to look at the rest of his dribbles now. So, what's the step back? Okay, so normally, I don't like this step back at all. Right? Now, it's not as bad as a lot of the other ones because he doesn't have a big pause where he, like, you know, he moves the ball first, right? Like the ball immediately starts to go back. He doesn't wave his arm first. Some characters with a step back like this, there's a pause before they do the step back. And if someone's pressing steal, they will get the ball from you. Now, the thing about him is that step back combos really well out of any dribble going towards the basket. Like if you can... that right there. So you see that little kind of hop back. So the combination of the fact that he likes to explode and the fact that he likes to misdirect, you can throw this step back in there, and it almost is like its own misdirection where he looks like he's going forward and then he's going backwards all of a sudden, and he goes right into that really quick jumper. So I think that's a very strong move for Will Barton. So even though it doesn't create the most space in the world, it's not really for creating space. It's more about for deceiving. You think he's going forward, and then immediately he's backing into a jump shot. And it's all about how your opponent is playing you. And keep in mind, because he's an elite slasher, if you're coming around screens and dunking on people all the time, they're going to start playing off of you to catch him before he gets a full head of steam. And that's when that little, I don't know if you call it a misdirection, but that little hop back is going to really be nice for him. So I actually kind of love that about this card, even though it's not what I typically like in a step back. For him, it makes more sense, and it combos very well out of all of the dribble moves, as you can see here. So behind the, you know, between the legs goes into it well, behind the back goes into it solid, and the momentum goes into it really well. All right, so that little step back, it's better than it is with most cards because of the rest of his whole suite, the way the card is built up. So I love that about him. All right, let's look at some more dribbles. Look at his half court between the legs stuff. Very, very nice. Let's see if he has the behind the back teleport. Actually, just check it right here. Yes, he does. All right, so that's looking really good. We saw the side switch stuff already. So honestly, I think this Will Barton card is actually very good. I had a feeling that he would be good because Will Barton is one of those players that is like secretly good, really good in the NBA. He doesn't get a lot of praise, but sometimes you'll watch him and you're like, how is this guy not an all-star? And occasionally, 2K likes to bless guys like that. And I think they blessed Will Barton a little bit. The only thing I would say about, honestly, it's just his interior defense. If depending on the matchup you're playing, Will Barton might be the card that destroys somebody for you. I could definitely see somebody lighting people up with Will Barton. Don't get me wrong. But if they're running a Jordan or they're running a big point guard and you don't have Bonga, you only have small guards, that's when Will Barton might hurt you a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the rest of his packages. We're going to look at his layups. Oh, actually, before we go to his layups, let me see about that between the legs, what it looks like on a killer cross. So it doesn't really have killer cross potential, but let me see the behind the back too. Yeah, he does. I'll try it again off the behind the back. Yeah, he doesn't want to really. He doesn't like it off the behind the back either. It's okay. Some cards that can do the killer crossover with the between the legs, they can also do it behind the back. So Now, I will say he does have the Sham God combos because his between the legs is fast enough for that. So it's not as swift as it is when people have the, you know, Westbrook, Jimmy Butler size up package, but it's still really good. All right. So we're going to look at his layup animations, and then we're going to look at his dunk animations. And we're going to look at all of his dunk animations because his dunk ratings and badges are so high that I would imagine you're going to dunk with him all the time. And it looks like he has fairly garbage layups, so you're going to definitely want to dunk with him all the time. I say his Euro step is good, but so far the rest of his layups have definitely underwhelmed me. And let me just say, this card feels like he has the extra version of quick first step. Like, I just did that Tyler Herro review, and I had basically one real negative about Tyler, which was he was a little bit sluggish compared to the elite guards, right? Like if I play Wade, if I play Brandon Roy, they feel quick and snappy. Herro I think he's an elite card, but the one little negative was he felt sluggish. Will Barton is the opposite. The one big positive is this card is just like exploding out of every dribble move you do, a little faster than I'm used to with other cards. I would say the behind the back might even just be the exception, but every other dribble move, this card is like out of his regular size ups. Honestly, I think this is a card you don't need fancy dribble moves. You can like literally just do a size up, and he just moves quickly. Like you see his left to right, it's just like quick. He just moves really, really well. I can't stress that enough. I don't know if that's coming across in you know, on screen because you guys can't see my controls. You can't see how fast he's responding to my inputs, but I'll try to communicate that to you. He responds very well to like my inputs. It just feels like really quick. Like when you play this card, it almost feels like dribbling with him. Like, man, I wish everybody felt this good as a dribbler. So that I will definitely give to Will Barton. We see there the double hop back. All right, let's look at his cradle layup, then we're going to get to his dunk animations. So his cradle and his Euro step are okay. The rest of his layup animations are pretty bad. All right, let's see the right hand. Gorgeous. You see he just jumps all the way out of the gym. We're going to see left hand, ball hand. He's an ambidextrous dunker, which is to be expected because he has absolutely elite dunk ratings. All right, we're going to go switch hands from the strong hand. Okay, big gather on that hand switch, so I definitely might say watch out for that. We're going to switch hands from the weak hand to the strong hand. Okay, and no gather going to his strong hand. So he only has one bad dunk in the package so far. I'm going to look at it again. Okay, and he doesn't always do it. So I would say if you are switching hands from right to left, you may get this gather dunk. So you might want to avoid that if you can. If you're in that situation where you would need a hand switch, maybe you want to do a flashy or you want to do a two-handed dunk. I'm going to try that in a second. Or a hop dunk, which we also got to look at. Yeah, very nice two-handed dunks. So just stay away from switching to your left hand. Okay, so he didn't dunk off the hop step, which was interesting. Let's try that again. All right, so despite the fact that he has really, really high dunk ratings, he doesn't like to dunk off the hop step. Yeah, and even that one, that was kind of a closer one. So he doesn't have the broken hop step dunking. It's not that he can't do it. It's just not, you know, broken. Because there we go. We see he did it, but he doesn't jump super high with it. I wish I knew what dunk package affected that because some cards have just the silliest hop dunks in the world. He has good, regular, average hop dunks, but nothing silly about it. All right. What else did I want to look at? Oh, yeah, I wanted to look at his triple threat explosion as well. So check out his triple threat size up. And he doesn't step all the way over, so let's see how he explodes out of it. Average speed out of the triple threat. Nothing remarkable. We're going to check the other directions. Let's check same side. Same side is really fast. His same side explosion out of the triple threat is really fast. So if you catch the ball behind the screen, you can just go with him, and you're straight. I think this is a good card. I do think people might be sleeping on this card a little bit. The interior defense is a glaring weakness, but that's matchup related. Everybody doesn't play pounding the paint, you know, posting up with a two guard. So if you had Will in your lineup, you might even just be able to substitute around that matchup and really get some mileage out of this card. In fact, I would say the real negative is that he doesn't have Hall of Fame range extender. And it's not a negative, but it's just like if he had Hall of Fame range extender, I would be shouting from the mountains about this card. As it is, if I'm being responsible, I would say I probably believe that he's in the category of, if you're not happy with your two guards, then go ahead and get Will Barton and try him out, and you might really like him. Would I put him over Kevin Porter or Cam Reddish? Officially, I would say no. But I would say if someone told me that they liked him more, I would totally understand why. Because this card feels so ridiculously explosive. Now, I think Kevin Porter feels great as well. And in fact, at the end of all of this, I'm going to do a shootout for all of the two guards in these spotlights. So we'll compare a lot of these things side by side in the future. But for now, I would say unless you are running elite two guards, or if you wanted to sell your two guards because you're trying to get into the market for like a bowl, or you know, you're saving up for the next big release and you want to get your MT short up, I do think Will is definitely good enough to hold his own outside of the interior defense. Outside of the interior defense, I think this is a very solid, good card. Is he an elite card? I would not say elite, but I do think he can perform at the elite level in the right hands if you play to the card's strengths, which are slashing, exploding off the dribble. He should be just fine off the catch and shoot because he has a very nice shot release. You guys can see I'm not even really paying attention here, but I'm getting a lot of greens. It's as the ball is going forward, like right about as the ball is going forward is when his green window is. And it's a pretty big green window. Again, I'm talking and I'm like reading the chat, so I'm not here to like try to get green after green. But I try to give you guys an indication of how it feels. And I would say he has a really nice feeling shot, really good green window. As a slasher, he should be really, really good across the board. I would just say he has, for how good he is as a slasher across the board, he has underwhelming hop dunks. Not the biggest deal in the world. You see how high he gets when he's dunking with his right hand, and even with his left hand, when he's going up with the left hand, he's above average in that category. Just don't switch from the right hand to the left hand because he has a nasty gather dunk. You see there, that gather dunk you want to stay away from. That's block central right there. But outside of that, his dunk package is absolutely elite. His dribbles are elite. His shot is, you know, it would be elite if he had Hall of Fame range extender, but we see here, it's not like gold range extender is all of a sudden trash. It's just, I'm not going to compare him to Brandon Roy and T-Mac and Tyler Hero because he's just shy of that category. But as a shooter, I mean, you can definitely cook with this card. You see his hezzy jumper is excellent. His peekaboo is excellent. I would say off the peekaboo, his shot speed is a little lacking. Maybe not lacking. I would say it depends on the animation you get. It can be a little iffy off the peekaboo. Not in a bad way, but there's a little bit of a drag off the peekaboo. But and this is why I stress the importance of learning the hesitation. Because the hesitation for some characters is better than the peekaboo, right? And for him, I would trust the hesitation over the peekaboo because it's just more consistent. On the peekaboo, sometimes the shot feels fast, sometimes it feels slow. But on the hesitation, it always feels exactly the same. And it's very good. It's very good. Not Dwayne Wade elite, but who is. But, you know, it's about as fast as a Lance Stevenson or something like that. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for the Will Barton review. Double check again for the... There we go. He's got the baseline reverse dunks as well, which puts him into the top tier of dunkers in the game as long as he performs well in game. Some cards mysteriously don't dunk well in game, so that you're going to have to find out from your own gameplay. But yeah, is he worth it? Is he worth 5 games against the CPU? Absolutely. I would say almost for anybody. For those of you who might be wanting to free up your MT and need a stopgap guard, he's better than most. He's definitely better than most. This card, I would say, is worth about 40k MT. You know? This is about a 40k MT 2 guard that you have sitting in your collection for free. If you have the cards to go get him. I wouldn't buy cards to get him unless you really needed a 2 guard. But yeah, he's definitely a good card to get. A quick little warning. If you're doing the spotlights, definitely make sure you have the quick through STS for the Nuggets package because you do have to play against the Lakers and the Clippers. And if you don't have really good Nuggets cards to mix into your lineup, or you know your lineup is a little lacking, that could be annoying. Now I have Kevin Durant and LeBron James, so it wasn't that difficult. But for some of you, like if you're just starting or if you just sold all of your cards and you're like, oh yeah, I sold all my cards, I need to get Will Barton, that might be annoying playing against the Lakers and the Clippers, even on the levels that they are, if you don't have the quick through STS. And you do need to hit 3 threes against, I mean, sorry, 5 threes against the Clippers when you go through it. So he doesn't have, I mean, I don't find any of the spotlights to be difficult, but some of them can be a little annoying. His spotlight is a little more on the annoying side because of the teams that he plays. So just make sure you've got the right cards to get him so that you don't, the right cards in the playbook in case you need that. I didn't run quick through STS myself, but I do like having it as a backup in case I start getting cheesed. All right, guys. Yeah, so you have to finish up all the spotlights. Nice. So you try out Will Barton. Excellent, Elevate. Well, I'm happy to help you out, man. I hope this gave you some insight onto how to use him and if he'll be fun or maybe a backup lineup. You know, something like that. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope this was informative. I know this was kind of a long one, but Will has a lot of stuff with him, and I wanted to talk about the 2-guard meta a little bit as well and kind of where he fits in. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and peace.